The date, December 31st, 1969, a day for celebration, a day for new beginnings. Instead, for the 129 souls aboard Japan Airlines Flight 351, it would become a day of terror. The Boeing 727, bound for Fukuoka, lifted off from Tokyo International Airport, piercing through the crisp winter air. On board, businessmen settled into their seats, families anticipated reunions, and the crew prepared for a routine flight. Then everything changed. A young man, masquerading as a businessman, stormed the cockpit, brandishing a samurai sword and a pistol. His chilling declaration, "This is a hijack," shattered the illusion of normalcy, plunging the cabin into chaos. The world watched, holding its breath as Flight 351 became a pawn in a terrifying game. 19-year-old Yoshiaki Takada, a disillusioned college dropout, became the face of the hijacking. Fueled by radical ideology and a yearning for notoriety, he assembled a group of accomplices, their mission to hijack a plane and defect to North Korea. Takada, influenced by the global wave of student protests and the allure of communist ideals, saw himself as a revolutionary. He and his comrades, armed with crude weapons and unwavering conviction, were determined to make a statement. Their target, Japan Airlines Flight 351, an unsuspecting symbol of the capitalist society they sought to dismantle. Their weapon, fear. Fear gripped the passengers as the hijackers took control. Families huddled together, whispering prayers. Businessmen stowed away important documents, bracing for the unknown. The cabin crew, trained for emergencies but never for this, fought to maintain composure, their smiles replaced with strained expressions. Captain Koji Shindo, a seasoned pilot with an unflappable demeanor, became the voice of hope. His calm, measured voice over the intercom, assuring passengers that everything was being done, provided a sliver of comfort in the face of terror. Yet, behind his reassuring words lay a deep-seated fear. He knew the lives of everyone on board rested on his shoulders, and he was determined to bring them home safe. With the plane under their control, the hijackers issued their demands. They wanted the Japanese government to release 9 imprisoned comrades. They wanted safe passage to North Korea. They wanted fuel for the journey, their deadline sunrise. The demands sent shockwaves through Japan. The government scrambled to respond, caught off guard by the audacity of the act. Negotiators were assembled, strategies were debated. The fate of Flight 351 and the lives it carried hung precariously in the balance. Time was running out. Section 5. A tense waiting game. Negotiations begin. The airport transformed into a pressure cooker of activity. Government officials, law enforcement, and media swarmed the tarmac, their eyes glued to the hijacked plane. Every movement, every flicker of light from the aircraft's windows was scrutinized for meaning. Inside the plane, the hijackers, armed and agitated, paced the aisles, their eyes darting suspiciously. The passengers, their faces etched with fear and fatigue, clung to hope, praying for a peaceful resolution. Negotiations began. It was a tense dance, a high-stakes game of chess played out between the authorities and the hijackers. Every word mattered. Every concession carried a weight that could tip the scales. Section 6. The price of freedom. A grueling 79 hours. Hours turned into days, each second feeling like an eternity. The hijacking stretched on for an excruciating 79 hours, a relentless test of endurance and willpower. The world watched, captivated by the drama unfolding on the tarmac in Tokyo, glued to their screens, hoping for a miracle. For the hostages, time became a blur of fear, boredom, and dwindling hope. Each minute felt like a lifetime. The air grew thick with tension, a palpable sense of dread hanging over everyone. Sleep was a luxury few could afford. The constant threat kept everyone on edge, their minds racing with fear. Food and water ran low, adding to the growing sense of desperation among the passengers. The hijackers, growing increasingly erratic, tightened their grip on their hostages, their threats becoming more menacing with each passing hour. Yet, even in the face of terror, humanity flickered. Small acts of kindness became beacons of hope. Acts of kindness, small but significant, emerged from the darkness. A blanket shared, a comforting word whispered. Passengers shared their meager rations with each other, offering comfort and support in whispers, creating a fragile sense of community. The crew, risking their own safety, worked tirelessly to keep spirits high, their dedication a lifeline in the sea of uncertainty. Section 7. Triumph over terror. the release of the hostages. Finally, after days of agonizing negotiations, a breakthrough. The Japanese government, in a controversial move, agreed to some of the hijackers' demands. They released several of the imprisoned radicals and allowed the hijackers to fly to North Korea. The hostages were freed. One by one they emerged from the plane, blinking in the sunlight, their faces etched with relief and disbelief. They had survived. They were going home. The ordeal, however, left an indelible mark. The physical scars would fade, but the psychological wounds, the invisible reminders of the terror they endured, would linger. Section 8. Aftermath and Investigation Unraveling the Motives. The hijacking of Flight 351 sent shockwaves throughout Japan and the world. It exposed vulnerabilities in aviation security and raised troubling questions about the motivations of the hijackers. The incident sparked a global conversation about terrorism, radicalization, and the delicate balance between security and freedom. In the aftermath, authorities launched a full-scale investigation. They scoured the hijackers' backgrounds, searching for clues that could explain their actions. They analyzed the incident, looking for security lapses that could be addressed. The investigation revealed a complex web of factors that contributed to the hijacking. A turbulent social and political climate, the allure of radical ideologies, and a lack of adequate security measures. Section 9. The Red Army Faction, a Legacy of Violence. The hijackers, it was discovered, were members of the Japanese Red Army Faction, a radical leftist group inspired by the communist ideology sweeping the globe in the late 1960s. This group, along with others like it, emerged during a time of global unrest and revolutionary fervor, when many believed that radical action was the only way to achieve true change. The group, known for its violent tactics and anti-establishment views, sought to overthrow the Japanese government and establish a communist state. Their methods were extreme, involving bombings, kidnappings, and assassinations, all aimed at destabilizing the existing order and inciting a revolution. The hijacking of Flight 351 was just one in a string of violent acts perpetrated by the Red Army faction. This particular incident drew international attention and highlighted the lengths to which the group was willing to go to make their political statement. From bombings to bank robberies to airplane hijackings, the group sowed terror and chaos in their wake, leaving a trail of destruction and despair. Their actions were not just limited to Japan, they had a global impact, influencing other radical groups and spreading fear worldwide. Their actions, while rooted in a warped sense of idealism, were ultimately acts of terrorism that claimed innocent lives and instilled fear in the hearts of millions. The legacy of the Red Army faction is a stark reminder of how extremist ideologies can lead to violence and suffering, affecting countless lives and leaving scars that last for generations. Section 10. Lessons Learned: Aviation Security in the Aftermath. The hijacking of Flight 351 served as a wake-up call for the aviation industry. It exposed glaring security flaws and highlighted the need for stricter measures to prevent future attacks. In the years that followed, airports around the world implemented enhanced security protocols. Metal detectors became commonplace, baggage screening became more rigorous, air marshals, undercover agents trained to thwart hijackings became a fixture on flights. The hijacking of Flight 351, while a tragedy, ultimately led to a safer skies for travelers worldwide. It forced the industry to confront its vulnerabilities and implement measures that would protect passengers from future attacks. Section 11. Flight 351, a story of terror and resilience. The hijacking of Japan Airlines. Flight 351 stands as a stark reminder of the human capacity for both terror and resilience. This event, which unfolded over several harrowing days, tested the limits of everyone involved. It is a story of fear and uncertainty, of courage and compassion, of the enduring human spirit that refuses to be broken, even in the face of unimaginable adversity. The passengers, despite their fear, found ways to support each other, showing remarkable bravery. The incident left an indelible mark on the lives of all those involved, the hostages who endured days of terror, their faces etched with anxiety and hope, the families who waited anxiously for their loved ones' return, their hearts heavy with worry but also with hope, the crew who risked their lives to protect their passengers, showing incredible professionalism and dedication under pressure, and the authorities who worked tirelessly to resolve the crisis, employing every resource at their disposal to ensure a peaceful resolution. Flight 351 is a story that continues to resonate today, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder of the importance of vigilance, the power of hope, and the strength found in unity, and the enduring human spirit that can overcome even the darkest of times. This story serves as a beacon of hope, illustrating that even in the face of terror, humanity can prevail.